Hi friends, coding challenge makes us a better coder. So in today video, we are going to code the power exponential function using the iterative approach and also the recursive approach. So let's do the coding. So our problem is, or the challenge is, that you have been given a number x and you need to make the power of n. For example, 2 to the power 2, like 2 square is 4, 2 cube is 8. So something like that. If you have 2 to the power of, for example, 6, so the answer is supposed to be 64. So just to understand the problem a little better, I have written this test code. So the out of the box method which comes in Java is math.pow power. So you have the base 2 and whatever time you want to multiply. Let's say 2 to the power 6 is 24, 10 to the power 3 is 1000, right? So the challenge is to code here. So just pause the video and do the coding, and then you can come back here. So I'll explain you step by step as I code. So we have the test case ready for all these three cases. So let's code this method. So first thing is we will do the method which will return us the integer, and it would take two things. First is the base, then second is the power. This is the power, right? So how would it happen is let's say return null so that it doesn't bother us. Let's say return 1 for now. Okay, now so base is repeated. For example, if power is 3, so we would expect b multiplied by b times b, and then we are supposed to return. Technically this is whatever is the product, whatever the number of power, that is supposed to be returned. So we know one thing for sure, that if we do the iterative method, what we're gonna do is i's value would be from first to whatever is the power, right? Whatever is the power, till that time it is going to iterate. But then how we will achieve this thing, right? If it's power of 10 or something. So let's first have this thing and we say it as answer, and this would be 1. So whatever number of times this variable would be inside the loop, the multiplication would happen. So we can say answer is equal to answer multiplied by base. So let's say if this is 2, so 2 first iteration, 2 multiplied by the 1. Let me first run it and I'll debug and explain you more in debug mode. So let's see if all the test cases are passing or there is some problem. Cool, so everything passes. Now let me explain you the nitty-gritty in detail. So what is happening? First, the power is 2. So in first test case, this is 1 and multiply by 2. So this will become 2, and then this will become 4, and then it would be returned. In next test case, 2 to the power 6 times. So from 1 till 6 time it is going to multiply, and whenever it is multiplying, it is doubling itself. 2. Now this answer value is 2. So answer means 2 multiplied by the base 2 will be 4. Now answer is 4. 4 multiplied by the base, which is 2, will be 8. 8 multiplied by again the base 16. So likewise it would run, and then we get the expected result. So this is fun. Now is there another way we can code it? So let's code it using the recursion. Now you might be knowing recursion is when a function calls the function, and this would make things, the code, like really simple. So recursion has a base case, and then it has a recursive case. Base case means which decides the termination, and the recursive case is like it would decrement the number and repeat it. So the base case would be if your power, for example, is equal to or less than or equal to 1, because what you are going to do is you are going to decrease the power in each iteration. You will understand it in a bit. So for example, this is 1. So this is the base case. Now the main case. So what you would do is you would say return, and then you would say base. So whatever is your number base, and then you will multiply by the method itself. So you will invoke the method itself, and then you would say base, you would pass the base, and then whatever is the power, you would say 1. Why we are decrementing? Because if we don't decrement it, let's say if it is 6, then it would remain 6 whenever we are calling. So we decrement it, so at some point in time it will be equal to or less than 1, and from there this thing would get terminated, and then the results would start coming. So b multiply by then whatever is the value. So for example, b multiply by, next time when it returns, it would again return b, then b. So if the power is 3, this function would get like the b would get multiplied 3 times, and ultimately the last result would be 1. So let me explain you this with the debug code, but before, let's run this. So when we run it, yes, we are all set, we are all good. Oh, actually, my bad. We haven't even uncommented these tests. So I hope now this should be fine. So there is something breaking, and what is it? We are getting one less number than what we have expected. So what do we need to do is let's remove this, and then I hope this would work, because we need that last iterative value as well. Cool, so it's working, right? So what happened is because it was equal to, it was returning there, so there was one time less multiplication. Now it will multiply all the time, whatever is the number of power. So let's understand this, how this recursion is working. So first the value is 2 and the power is 6. So what happened is b is 2 here, and then once we go ahead, then the power is 5. In next iteration, the power is 4, and this is the stack. So as you do recursion, this step will, like this would get increasing, all the methods would get stack up. So once this power is 1, now no more methods would get stack up, because from here the return would start coming up, right? So now we'll see that this will fall from 6 to 5, 5 to 4, and then this thing is getting multiplied, like whatever are the methods here, this would get multiplied 2 times 2 times 2, and then times 2. So when everything gets returned, the value is 64. That's why the test case is passing. So let's run through this. Now, last thing I want to do is, can we optimize this and make it a one-liner? So yes, that is also very simple. So what we are going to do is we would say return. Return what? Return 1 when p is less than 1. We have to return 1, but when that is not the case, then we would return b multiply by, we'll call the method itself. We would have the same base, but the parameter would be in the decreasing order. So we'll decrease the parameter and return it. So this is the Java ternary operator, and this is like super cool, because in single line you are able to achieve the same thing and all the test case passes. So guys, I hope you like this, and thanks a lot for watching this. Attempt the code. If you face any problem, just let me know. I'm also sharing the GitHub code link, which I have all the code. So happy coding and enjoy.